So today we've got Scott in the chair who is doing a fight for Men Matter Scotland.
Indeed, yes,
Men
yes.
Matter Scotland. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Bit of a charity MMA fight. Just fought, end of last year. I didn't have any goals last year. I just kind of sat around, not really doing much in terms of training. It was never like a motivation factor. And I wanted something to kind of, change the way maybe my mindset is a wee bit. And suffering with like depression and anxiety and stuff like most of my life. It was like something of a comfort zone a wee bit. And I think kind of like this year it was a big one. It was like, right, I want to do something that kind of gets me out of that rhythm. And I seen it advertised on, I think it was Insta. I was actually taught about something like that. And then there was a boxing one or the MMA one, and I was like, you know what, I want to do the MMA one. And then signed up for it, man. And it was like, it's flowing. I mean, that was start of December. And then we're 5 weeks from fight night, so a month yesterday.
27th of April.
Yeah, stepped into the
And that's at the Normandy?
Normandy, Paisley, or Renfrew, whatever it's classed as. But mate, it's like the training that's going really well. I've cut quite a lot of weight as well. I think I started the year around 108, 109, and I'm down to like 95, 96. But the only problem is I'm fighting like heavyweight boys. So I'm fighting boys who are like very heavy. Like especially the last night, like seeing the group I was getting in, I'm like probably the smallest.
And what is like the feeling involved in it when you know that you are like fighting somebody bigger, somebody heavier? What is the feeling involved in it? What's like, going through your head at that point?
It is what it is, because at the same time it's as much as I'm going out to win, it's like me against me kind of thing. It's like kind of cringy as it sounds, it's true though, and everyone there's got to say the problem is everyone's brand new, like there's not anyone there that I dislike. So it's like you don't really have that pure I want to go out there and take someone's head off kind of thing. You're all there training for the same thing. But don't get me wrong, there's boys there that are like ex-amateur boxers and Muay Thai and have done like jiu-jitsu and that in the past, so it's kind of new horizon for me. So I'm kind of going in with a kind of naive mindset to the whole thing. But I'm just going to go out there and give my absolute best, and training yesterday was divided into categories. It was a wee bit maybe intimidating yesterday, because you're going, right, you're like training and rolling with a guy that you're going to be like, staring an octagon with. But like, mate, like I've trained hard, like I believe in my ability, and I'll go out there and do what I can do, It's for an amazing cause.
Do you feel like that self-belief and that positive self-talk, do you feel that is like your main structure and your mentality in your life? Do you feel
mate, like
important to have that kind of mindset?
Absolutely, mate. Like the easiest thing you can do is just convince yourself about bad things all the time and negative thoughts and sit around and do nothing. It's like the simplest thing in the world is being lazy. It's such an easy thing to do. Like it's not hard sitting on the couch all day doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like actually going, right, okay, I need to get up and do something. Do you know what I mean? That's like, there's been days where I've came back from the training on the Thursday, done like 3 sessions on a Thursday, and then been up to the circuit training on a Friday morning, and I've wanted to just lie in my bed and feel sorry for myself, and it's like, well, like the other person's doing about training as well, so it's always like kind of putting yourself in the mindset of whatever I'm doing, someone else is doing it better, so I need to like kind of then step up to it kind of thing. Do you know?
And so obviously we and your good friends are well now.
Good few years.
I speak to you every day, so, obviously I know about your boot camps, but why don't you tell people what are involved in your boot
So
camps
it's just
and stuff
like heavy circuit training, doing
First
stuff.
off, why don't you tell them what time you're doing that?
6 in the morning till 7, but I'm up at like 5 o'clock. I go help set up and stuff like that, because it's my dad's good friend, Craig Barnes, that helps me do it all, so I go down, help him out, and then it's just like heavy like circuit training, so we're doing like rowing, cycling, a lot of running, a lot of like muscular endurance, and then at night time as well there's like outdoor classes, that's more like running and cardio based, so stuff like that, and it's like it's great to be like, I felt a big change myself. At the end of last year I taken a lot of progress pics, mate, and like how I let myself go at Christmas time, I couldn't believe it. That very first session of circuit training I done, I got in my car and I was like, I can't do this, man. I was just sitting in my car like, what have I done? Why have I signed up for this? Do you know what I mean? But that was my lazy side, like that was my negative side going, why have you done this? Do you know what I mean? Then I'm going, right, well 6 weeks from now I'm going to be a lot better, and then 6 weeks later I'm going to be a lot better, and 6 weeks later, do you know what I mean? It's always thinking like long term,
How do you feel, like as you're saying there, you're going to get better every kind of 6 weeks. Do you feel that like you've had major change so far in your own mindset? What would be those changes? What would be the advice that you could give to somebody else who are going through maybe a hard time and doesn't know how to speak about things?
But I think that's where my problems get stemmed from. I was like, oh, I'm a man, like I don't speak about stuff. You know what I mean? It's that pure mindset that we're in. But one thing I've realised that if you talk to your pals, people are in the same boat as you. It's not just you. It's not you, yourself, and you. You know what I mean? Everyone's involved in it. you know, and I think it's that whole mindset of just being able to speak, even if it's like a family member. I talk to you all the time about stuff like this, you know, and we talk to each other quite openly about stuff like that. I don't think it makes you any less of a person. It doesn't make you like, you know, less of a man, or you know what I mean, like that whole thing, that's just a whole stereotype. And that's like something that has to be cancelled out. But I'm quite an open person. I talk about stuff like that all the time. It doesn't bother me. And you know, even if I talk about it, someone else doesn't, and if that makes them kind of go, "Oh, by the way, like look at him talking about that," you know what I mean? Then that's what kind of helps me a wee bit. But it's just being like an open person. That's what puts my mind at rest at the end of the day. And you know, you're sitting there with your pals, like people who. That's what it comes down to. So for me, the fight, as much as it's about I want to win, it's the people I like love and care about all in the one place for an amazing cause. You know. So I'm having a serious discussion with a camera and a microphone, and you're calling me a good boy. You know what I mean? You know, have a little respect for the public. But it's just it's all the people I care about in one place, really. You know, and it's an amazing cause, and it's been a journey, a process. Obviously, you know, been through a few personal things that started at the end of last year, started this year. You know, and that was kind of, it's like a setback, but it's how you stand up from it, kind of thing. You know.
So if you know, you're 26?
26.
What would you give to yourself, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self, you know, half your age?
Aye, that's actually really good. Just like things get better, you know. Things get better when you're 13. You know what I mean? Your mind's very closed off. You don't really know what you're going through. I mean, you think that this is a be all and end all. Even 18, that was probably when I was at like my lowest mentally. You know, and like it's just like things get better. You know now, like all the stuff I felt when I was 18 and all that, and everything that kind of happened. I'm grateful every day that I'm still here. You know what I mean? I'm like grateful for my family, my friends. Like my family relationship never been better. Relationship with my friends, even meeting new friends. You lose pals across the way, but they were never like true pals. You know what I mean? But it's actually like making new relationships and stuff like that. It's like, what do you think when you're 18?
And how do you feel when, like, how do you deal with it mentally when you feel that you've been in something for so long and then all of a sudden, you know, they're not there to see or they're not supporting you, or...
Well, you need to realise as well, people's life get busy. You know what I mean? You can't always be at your beck and call. It's just the way it goes. So for me, it's like, it's nothing personal. It's just one of these things. Life moves on, you know. And it's like, I used to take things really personal. Like, you know, I was younger, mate, I used to be a really personal person. Like, if anything happened or like something was said, I'd be like, who do you think he is? No, I'm not talking to him. Then you realise, well, mate, like, people are just trying to live their life. You know what I mean? We can't always.
Where do you think that came from? Do you think that was just maybe like a little bit of like a toxic masculinity?
Yeah,
or do you think that was just something that because of your childhood that's what you came
I think it was just a lot of anger I had when I was younger. And I'm quite actually mellow compared to what I used to be. You know, and it's just growing up in different environments and atmospheres, and I mean stuff that happens, you just kinda get through it, like, oh, why do I always feel like I'm alone? You know, why is like no one there for me? And then you get those kind of pals on, and then all of a sudden it disappears, and you're like, oh my god, like, where's that gone, kind of thing? It means it's like you get a taste of something good, and then, you know, when you finish that nice drinking, then you can't have it back. You know, so it's just very much like, then you realise, you know, when you get older, man, like, people's life move on, everyone's going through shit. You know, like, some people are more open about it than others, and that's just the way it is. But I don't know sleep over that. I wish like people all the best. You know, still want you to eat, but not at my table. I think it's Tupac said. You know,
you know, it's a brilliant saying that. You know that, you know, what was the actual saying? It was, you know, I don't wish you any bad. You know, I want to see you eat, but it's not at my table. You know, and that is very, you know, everybody says, you know, what do you bring to the table and stuff like that. But I think it's nowadays, I think people are looking for an emotional connection, and you know, somebody that they can be a little bit more open with. And I think as men, you know, history has shown us that we have to be, you know, the strong one, the hard one, the one that provides. And I think men today are kind of struggling with that. Do you agree?
I think society.
Men are viewed today, or
I think society as a whole is just that whole thing. Like, if you're a guy, you can't talk. And I think that comes from even my dad's generation. You know what I mean? Like, his whole thing is like, oh, we don't talk about a problem, son, we just get on with it, kind of thing. And it's like such a, nowadays, with all social media platforms and everything that we've got, it's such like a bad message to send to people.
Yes.
You know, it's like such a horrible. And when I went to the Menmark Scotland and Drum Chapel, like that's where their base is, it was like, I couldn't believe it. I went in and straight away, it was like I was like one of the best pals. I mean, and they were just chatting away to me, and I was like, you can see why people would go here. I mean, because it's such a positive place, and that's what you've got every right to be happy in life. I mean, thoughts might creep in, and it's like not worth it. Because you always think that short term that'll be the best option is I do something to myself. But you don't realise the long term effect that has on other people. It's other people that have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And I just think that nowadays with like, I think it's hard to describe, mate, because it's the whole kind of action side of things as well. You watch all these movies, the big guys and all that, and you need to be that to be happy. Most of them are probably miserable. You know what I mean? Because they need to live by like strict diet codes and stuff like that. Money's nice, yeah, but like I'd rather be happy than have money. You know, I'd rather kind of have my friends, my family, than have like tons of money and stuff like that. You know, it's like people chase different things, you know, but people are willing to sacrifice happiness for what they've got. But you're never truly happy. You know what I mean? You know.
And what would you say, like short-term goals, like 3 to 5 years? What would you say your short-term goals are? Where would you want to see yourself? How would you want to be perceived? You know, how would you want people to perceive you? You know?
Genuinely, just be positive in negative situations. I mean, because you have a lot of negative situations, and one thing I end up like dwelling on them quite a bit. I'd like to be more positive. I mean, but like doing this whole thing, all that's mentally got me like feel a bit more positive about myself. Like, my confidence a lot better. You know, it's like fitness-wise, I'm a lot better. I just want to be like fit and happy, you know, and well. That's like my biggest thing is that I want to be. Is, you know, job-wise, I'm happy in my job. My job's great. I can't complain about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's hard seeing like where you're going to be in 3 or 5 years because anything can happen that time, man. Ideally, I'd want to be happy and healthy, have all my family, all my friends and stuff like that. But it's like the truth is, you never really know. You know.
What about long-term goals? Say like 10 to 12 years. What would you say then?
Even still, mate, it's hard. Obviously, you want to have a house and like kids and like a wife and all that, but at the same time, it's like I just want to be happy, mate. I mean, I just want to be happy. Yeah, I just want to be a happy person, man. Be positive and like.
I think when you have one
help others as well, man. You know.
Yeah, I think you know. Obviously, like I said before, me and you have been friends for a long time now. Right. You know, we talk every day, and I think you know when I'm struggling, when you're struggling, you know, we definitely do rely on each other, and I feel that it's definitely helped my own mental strength and my own kind of, you know, mental stamina, let's just say, in a sense that I'm able to deal with more and more because I know that I can, you know, rely on you. I can pick up the phone and stuff like that.
Absolutely, man. Right.
Do you feel that you've got many people like that in your life, or do you feel that there is just a select few?
I've got like my boys. I mean, my like guys who I'd speak to anything about, and I've got like good friends as well. But like even my family, like my mum and my dad, like, I've talked to them about a lot of stuff. One thing I've kind of realised, you know, when you're angry or like pissed off and upset, you don't see the bigger picture. You know, when you explain what's going on to someone and they just kind of go, "What are you getting annoyed from?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh wait, like, oh you're right actually." You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need to take a deep breath and realise that things aren't actually like as bad as what you might think. It's not the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I definitely, mate, I think that's like a big thing about friendship for me is you're there at each other's lowest. You know what I mean? It's not like I've had a lot of pals all the time that were just kind of maybe being my friend for one thing or another, whether it's like they want to go out and drink or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, and other people like that, you don't realise it at the time, but when you need them the most, they're not there for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think for me, like, that's how friendship works. You know what I mean? It's you're there for each other, the good, the bad, the ugly. You're there for each other all the time. You know what I mean? And you just need to like find people like that, and there's people out there who like do care about you and who give a rat's arse for doing the PG version, but you know, it's just like finding that. Like the amount of times we phoned each other, mate, like, oh, rubbish day, you know, and then afterwards you're just like, afterwards you're just like, oh man, that was nothing in hindsight.
You essentially feel a little bit stupid in a way sometimes, you know, when you speak to, like, you know, there's many times where I phoned you and I'd be like, oh, you know, ranting and raving about whatever, you know, past work, family, friends, girlfriends, you know, and ranting and raving about everything, and then it's like, you're like, you know what, mate, stop being stupid. And we start laughing, and I think that is kind of what I'm looking for, you know, in the sense that somebody can kind of rant and rave to, you know, but still doesn't judge you, you know.
You're in it together, kind of thing. I mean, you're in it together, but you just sometimes need someone to see a bit of like, that sense. I mean, because obviously, like with emotions is an amazing thing, mate. Honestly, emotions is such an amazing thing because there's times where you're obviously pissed off, you're angry, and you just don't see what's in front of you. I mean, you can't see your nose to spite your face or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Let's say, and as soon as like it's my mum all the time, man, I'll say something to her, and I'm like, "Mum, this is a diabolical. I can't believe this, blah blah blah." And she just looks at me, she's like, "What are you talking about?" You know, she's like, "Go away for like 10 minutes, think about what you've just said, then come back to me." And I go back, I'm like, "You're right, yeah, like it was nothing in hindsight, you know." One of my good friends always says to me, he's like, I remember I was like, we're in the gym one morning, I was like ranting to him, and, you know, we were doing the boxing pads and all that, and he's just like, "Stop a minute," he's like, "Will you think about this in 60 years? So probably not, mate. He's like, "Will you think about it in 6 years?" I'm like, he's probably right, mate, no. And he's like, well, you think about it in 6 months? And I was like, no. He's like, well, why would you think about it in 6 hours? And I was like, no. He's like, so why are you thinking about it now? He's like, if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't matter long term to you, what's the point of worrying about it? I mean, like, it's happened. Just get on with it. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know. But yeah, I remember when he said it to me, I was just like, I was like happy but annoyed because I just wanted to agree with me. But he was just like, mate, relax. You know what I mean?
But I think that's what a good friend does do is somebody that doesn't kind of think pander might be the wrong word here, but somebody that doesn't just kind of, you know, entertain, you know, the bad thoughts or entertain.
Yeah. Oh, you should go do this and don't do that.
Yeah. Friend is here kind of help you snap out it. Yeah. That's what we've been through. So the more this kind of last year than anything else, you know, you've gone through loss, I've gone through loss, and heartache as well. You know, it's just not understanding. I think there's definitely things that me and you come together and we don't actually understand the world that we're in.
Yeah.
That's the case. I think, you know, as I said, I don't really know for spiritual, I feel quite awake to the world. What is your standpoint on like spirituality, religion? Where do you stand on things?
It's a weird one, mate. This is always the tough question to answer. I think there's like, I've never like proper thought about it. I always think like religion and stuff like that, like everyone's entitled to their beliefs and believing what you want to believe. I mean, as long as you're not negatively impacting other people, then like do what you want to do. I mean, believe what you want to believe.
Even things like the law of attraction and stuff like that. Would you say you're spiritual in that sense that you would know how to or start to manifest things?
That's one thing I've never been good at is like manifesting. I mean, like speaking it into existence, kind of thing. I've never really been good involved in that one.
Something that you would want to kind of learn more on, something that you would want to kind of research a little bit?
It's something my dad's like spoke to me about. He said about this whole fight and all that. He's like, envision yourself like winning, envision yourself like with your hand in the air. He's like, because that's what he's got like, a sales job and that, and he always says he envisions his goals and sales and what he wants to do. And I'm like, alright, okay, but I was like, well, I don't know, mate. Sometimes my mind's just up here clouds, you know what I mean? So I just can't like proper sit down and relax and like, you know, even meditate and then like that and like that's just what I want. I'm just like, right, cool, like we'll see what happens. Whatever happens. And it's probably quite a dangerous mindset to have at times. I mean, instead of going, right, you know what, I want to just sit back and like manifest this, I'm just very much, like whatever happens, we'll see how it goes, you know what I mean? But I definitely think like you should be more open to the whole manifestation of things. I mean, it's a big word for me, you know?
I feel like, you know, I definitely believe in manifestation. I definitely believe that even a job or something and stuff like that, I definitely believe that I've manifested this. You know yourself, you know, I've been absolutely chasing, you know, my career and things like that. You know, when I was in my previous place, I was saying, I might try it, but I want to do this. I feel like this is where we're doing it. So, manifestation has been a major part of my life. And I won't say, you know, it's all about just speaking positively about yourself. You know, I have a brilliant way of putting it is that, you know, imagine somebody was going through what you were going through. You need to speak to yourself more kindly, you know, that's the main thing is when you kind of really are in a one with yourself and all these manifestations and stuff like that, and that comes along with it. Because you feel like good at it.
Because I feel like that's one thing with myself in particular, I'm very hard on myself. Like I'm very hard on myself. Like, you know, if I get shown something I can't do it straight away, I'm very much like, why can't I do that? I mean,
where do you think that comes from? Why do you think that's a thing? Because I mean, that's a thing in many guys, isn't it? So I think
it's that.
We are very hard on ourselves.
I think it's that whole like perfectionist sense. Like sometimes you don't realise it's going to take a bit longer to pick stuff up, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't matter how long you take. Like especially with my like dyslexia and ADHD, I'm very much like a visual learner. Like someone has to kind of show me for me to go, alright. If you just tell me go do this, I'm like.
And do you feel like you may get annoyed because it could be something that maybe you viewed as really simple?
And it looks harder. It looks harder. It's a lot. Even like a lot of the fighting stuff you learn, you're like, this is actually a lot.
Still great.
But like it's even like a lot of the fighting stuff and stuff like that. It's like they make it look so easy, and I'm like, why can't I do that?
But that's the definition of a professional.
Exactly.
It's something that does a job that much easier. They make every single walk is so easy and look easy, you know. Like, you know, I remember when I started cutting hair and, you know, I couldn't even walk through a haircut.
Aye,
You know,
aye.
talk to you, you know, if I needed to talk to you, I was kind of like, you know, this hyper focus and
Aye.
you know, that was
Like
really,
a start-stop.
yeah, it's very start stop, you know, very start stop, you know, trying to talk to somebody.
Aye.
So yeah, definitely nowadays, you know, there's people that will say to me, you do it that easy. You know, it's a very proud moment, I think, you know.
And you do though, mate, you do, because I could do it anyway.
You don't notice that much.
It's a skill that we, you know, it's not something that we master overnight, you know. That's
Aye,
something that we
you
do, but-
work in your craft and all that, you know, work in the craft. Aye, absolutely, man, absolutely. But that's just the way it goes. I think there's like so many goals and visions for people, especially now. I remember I was talking to someone recently and they were like a bit down about, like, I think they're about 30 and like, oh, I'm 30, like, I don't have my own place, you know, I don't have like kids and my wife and all that. I'm like, but like, what construct made you believe that by a certain age you need to have that? Do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I was like, well, like, why are you forced to at that age believe that, oh, if I'm 30, I'm failing in life? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's absolutely mental that society now is like, oh, by the time you reach a certain age, you should have this, you should have a career job, a salary, you should have a house, you should have a wife and kids and all that. And it's like, I think sometimes people almost like sacrifice themselves being happy for something that's just like convenient almost at the time. You know what I mean? And I just think that's the kind of expectations. You know what I mean? And I mean, the setup I've got right now is like pretty chill. You know what I mean? The setup I'm with is like chill. I kind of just enjoy the way things are. So I'm not in a rush to do anything like that. And I've said that, I was like, does that make me, like, in your eyes, a failure if I'm not turning when I turn 30, if I don't have like a house, a career, a kid's wife? You mean, or do you view yourself as a failure?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just very much like, all right, I kind of get what you mean, but at the same time, that's the goals I have for myself. I'm like, that's fine then, if that's the goals you've got for yourself, then so be it. But you can't really turn around then and be like, oh well, I just don't understand why I'm pure upset about it and all that. If that's the vision that you've got, you know what I mean? It's like if I'm turning around saying to you, oh man, I want to learn to like, swim by the time I'm 28, but anyone who can't swim by that age, like, I'm judging them kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, as much as I get what you're saying, at the same time, it's your own mindset. I mean, you don't need to have any of that. You don't need to learn how to swim. Don't get me wrong, unless you get stranded at sea, then you're kind of screwed. But other than that, I mean, there's a chance of that. But it's like, I think we do live in that kind of society where, you know, you're expected to have this and that. It's, every time I see family, oh, have you got a girlfriend or not? I'm like, no, I'm just like chill doing my own thing. And it's just be like, oh, when I was your age, you know, we were together for 8 years and we were married and all that. I'm like cool, that's it, your day. It's like, you know, modern society now, you can kind of relax a bit more. You know what I mean? And I just think like,
Do you feel that that's in the past for you, like married, kids?
nah. Nah.
Like, set, no, or just like
At this,
maybe one
at this
day?
moment in time,
Yeah.
I like, it's like one of these things, I'm open to it. I mean, but at this very second in time, nah, it costs a fortune, man.
It does.
It costs a fortune. Some of the weddings, mate, like £4,000 weddings and all that. Go on holiday, get married abroad, you know what I mean? Kids and all that, like, I always think about this when I was younger and like you would ask your mum and your dad for like the newest PlayStation or Xbox or the newest like gadget and all that, and they would like bust their absolute balls to get it. You know, it's like Christmas time, you're like, oh my god, this is what I got. And then some guy called Santa takes all the credit for it, you know what I mean? And you're just kind of like, and then now it's like when you have your own money, you kind of realise how expensive it is. I mean, you're like, man, I can't believe my mum and dad like actually saved up to buy me that for my Christmas and all that. If I was my kid, I'd be like, I get what you're giving. You know? You want the new PlayStation, you'll get it if I buy it for myself, you know what I mean? Then you can have a wee shop, but it's just like, it's just stuff like that. I'll say to my mum, like, I bought my mum this perfume, set her favourite perfume for Christmas. And she's like, oh, like, you didn't need to do that, you didn't need to do that, you should have done that, you should have done that. And I was like, but like, think about all the stuff you've done for me. Yeah, I mean, that's light in comparison to what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So it's very much like,
So
trying.
I'll tell you a bit of a different role here then. Just some random questions here, right? You know me, my random questions anyway, yeah?
That's why I'm smiling, mate, I'm worried for what's coming.
Just something a little bit simple, right? Like, so I was asking a question yesterday. If you had 3 people at your table, alive or dead,
Right.
celebrities, parliament, whoever,
Oh,
who
mate.
would you have?
Oh,
And why?
mate. This could be a long silence, man. This could be a very long silence. I think about this. I know, this could be a very long silence. See, mate, because I had a question like that, but mine's is musicians. Like, what 3 musicians you could see, like, it could be like primes, like Queen, like Freddie Mercury. And then, what 3, if you could go to a concert, right, any concert, 3 musicians that you could pick, who would you choose? Because I've always like got, for me, it would need to be Frank Sinatra, you know, probably Avicii. You know, I've got to say Avicii, rest in peace. And then, I think the third one's always so tough because it's an option of 3 out of every musician, you know.
I think for me, my three musicians would be Adele, because I absolutely love Adele. I would have somebody like, I don't know,
Justin Bieber.
I mean, I ain't got nothing against people, but I mean, not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? Just for somebody pure techno. You know what I mean? But you can't have Adele and somebody techno the same. Probably could that's a new niche. You know, Adele techno.
You never know though. Yeah, you never tried it.
But no, I think you're right. I think we'd have somebody classical like Frank Sinatra. Oh no, I would definitely have Otis Redding. Otis Redding, I would definitely have that. Guy that does Try Little Tenderness, sitting on the dock of the bay, stuff like that.
Well, heard of it.
What? You haven't heard of Otis Redding?
No. Good name.
Sorry about my singing, but I mean, sometimes you forget.
What is he? Is he a country singer?
No, he's a more kind guy.
Otis Redding.
Like Otis Redding, yeah. Like
Kind of old school, or like
yeah.
Otis Redding. No, I don't
Otis
know.
Redding, he has songs like Try Little Tenderness, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
It might be one of these ones that if I heard them, I'd be like, oh, but
Maybe.
I've got a lot of songs that I hear and I'm like, oh, is that who that is? You know?
Aye, probably. I definitely think so.
Oh, do you know who my favourite one actually? Spandau Ballet. I love
You know,
Spandau
answer my
Ballet,
question.
man.
I'm trying to do that. You
sorry.
never answered my question. I said to you, what three people would you have at your table, alive or dead?
Got a bit
And
sidetracked.
you answered my question. My question.
Got a bit sidetracked. See, I've not thought about it. You know, I wasn't using that time to think about it. If I had to pick one,
Like, okay, I'll give you my three, right?
Yeah.
My three would be obviously Adele, right? I'd have somebody like a mindset coach, like Dr. Jordan Peterson. That's gonna work out what's happening.
Yeah.
And then I'd have like a money man, so like somebody like Elon Musk, Donald Trump,
so that'll be a funny
stuff
one.
like that, like to figure out what they've done or how they got to where they are, even like something like Jeff
Get a small loan of $1 million. Small loan. That's an interesting one. I'd maybe go like proper historical figures. I mean, really spice it down up a wee bit. Maybe like Genghis Khan or something like that. You know, I mean, I don't even be able to understand me too well. You know, but just be like, what made you want to commit an absolute mass genocide for the Mongolian Empire and all that? You mean, it's like I think stuff like that. Feel like the hell. Same with. I mean, I'm trying to think of like answers that don't get cancelled here. You know.
You're about to go off on a tangent, right? So I'm going to change the question here, right?
That's what in my head. I was like, right, okay.
If you had to go back to any kind of historical time, if you had like a time machine, you go back to any historical time, where would you go? For me, I've always said I would love to go back to the 20s, to the Gatsby era, you know, see the moonshine or see the prohibition, you know, see what it was like back then, you know, because it's documented so well, isn't it?
I always think the Viking era. I always just think that's amazing. The fact that they were creating those boats and like sailing across like thousands of miles of sea and ocean just to like ransack villages and stuff like that. I think that's pretty gangster. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to be the one getting ransacked. It'd be like me doing the ransacking, you know. But I just think like stuff like that's absolutely mental. Like the Viking Age and all that, and everything that they believe in, like the Norse gods and all that, you know, old and everything like that. Very like. I was playing the Vikings God of War Valhalla the other day, and it's got like old Thor and all that, and I was like, that's just class, man. Yeah, very much like back then, when there was just kind of like, there wasn't proper modern like things you have now. I mean, there wasn't any cars or anything like that. It's just someone has to get there by horseback or just, you know, trek it, you know. So I think that'd be a cool kind of time to go to. I say that, I'd probably get there and absolutely hate it, you know.
If you could move to anywhere in the world, say money was the option, if you could move anywhere in the world, where would you move to?
So, now if I move to this place, am I like, do I need to have a job when I get there? No, that's like, I was going to say, somewhere I don't need to pay taxes. You know, like Monaco, Monte Carlo kind of thing. Yeah, well, if I didn't need to pay taxes, you don't need to pay taxes.
Very recently, I've actually got Scott into the F1. So Scott is a new F1 fan. Who are you supporting?
Big Nico Hulkenberg. Big Nico. Just the reason.
I mean, he's definitely not going to win anything soon.
Not that mindset.
But what are you what's your thoughts on the F1 season? What's your thoughts on feelings on it so far?
It's crazy because my dad used to always watch it. I used to watch it like with my dad, but I had no clue what was going on. I just seen it as like cars driving on the track, you know, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's kind of boring. And then when you kind of mentioned it a bit more, you're saying how technical it is. It's like actual proper strategy and stuff like that. I was like, what's thought about it? And I started watching that Drive to Survive, and I was like, oh, actually, I thought about it. You start to actually feel sorry for like some of the drivers and stuff like that. But it's like it's almost like a brutal job to have, you know, and especially the tracks. Like, I mean, how many times have we played a track on the game and just crashed it? You know what I mean? Shout out Monaco Grand Prix, man. Honestly, bane of my existence. But it's just like to answer the question before, if I can move anywhere, and I didn't, if money wasn't an option, I didn't need to worry about it. It's interesting because I feel like obviously Australia is a good common answer because everyone loves Australia and all that, New Zealand. But I'd maybe, mate, I wouldn't mind living like Greenland or something like that, you know? You know, like Iceland or something like that. I think that's pretty sure. I'm quite a cold person. I prefer the cold. I'm not really a big, you know, heat guy. So maybe somewhere like Canada. I like Canada.
Canada would be nice. Like, one over Canada is just too cold. Like, for me, I would love to move to somewhere like, you know, Germany, for simple reason it's all bad and stuff like that, you know. I would love to kind of just do that side of things, you know, and I find that like quite cool, you know. And, anywhere that's got a track, or anywhere that I can kind of drive past, or anywhere that kind of hosts the F1 would be absolutely ideal.
Well, I like the cold, so I think Canada would be really good, but I couldn't go to like French Canada. I mean, where they speak French because I can't really speak English as it is, so I would need to, you know, pick up a new language. But I just think, I don't know, I always like Canada. I think Canada's quite cool. I've actually got family. Well, I say family. I wasn't alive when these people migrated to Canada in Saskatoon, so I think they're like Sasquatchian or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, kind of chase the family history out there. But yeah, mate, there's a lot of interesting questions to think about, you know. A lot of interesting ones.
What's the one thing? What's the one thing that you wish you learned earlier, or you wish that you had access to earlier?
That's a good question, man. You really make me think today, mate. I didn't expect this. You know?
Too early for your brain to be working then?
Yeah. I can barely function half the time, so probably like, might sound a bit daft, but like emotional intelligence. I mean, being like aware of surroundings and like kind of not just jumping to conclusions from the get-go. Like kind of be more maybe open-minded in a way. I mean, I'd maybe say like situational awareness in that sense, because it's just like I said, when I was younger, I was very angry. I was always just a angry wee guy, you know. And you kind of like mellow age when you see experience in life. When you experience things, you go right, okay. In hindsight, that was a bit petty, you know. So it's like probably like emotional intelligence, but I suppose you need to go through all that to get to where you are, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So life would be different if I knew all that at my young age, you know?
Is there something you think about a lot, or is there something that kind of just at the back of your mind, is something that you're kind of consciously making the effort to make sure that, you know, you're being better every day, you can be better, and, you know, doing the things that are needed to do to give you the life that you want in the next 5 to 10 years? Like,
What do you mean? So like, just like something like, how do you go around that kind of way?
yeah, in a way, in a sense, kind of like, what are the steps you're taking to kind of make sure that your goals, that you achieve your goals in like 5 to 10 years? For me personally, the goals that I set myself just for the next 3 to 5 years, it becomes easier with small changes, and that means, you know, just sorting out my mindset, you know, drinking more water, sleep hygiene, things like that. What are you doing to make sure that your goals are achievable?
Yeah, do you know, once again, it's like, mate, you're really philosophical today, man, aren't you?
Me, think so?
Yeah, asking all these hard questions compared to what we normally talk about. Yeah, mate, I think it's just trying to be more like, kind of, the big pop, you know, the colour of positivity and all that, and it's just trying to be, because I used to like wake up in the mornings, mate, but I can't be off today, man. And you straight away, that's the first thought in my head, I can't be off today. Like, what am I setting myself up for?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's been more like waking up and going, right, let's just go smash it today.
And when you have that thought that you can't be bothered and stuff like that, what is it? What's the steps that you would take to get over that?
Well, that's like the mental thing, you know, when that's my first thought in the morning, it's very, very difficult. Because I just expect everything to go wrong.
Yeah.
And like generally, mate, like since before I signed up for this final, like, that's how like end of last year, that's how my mindset was.
Yep.
I was just, I was feeling rubbish, I was looking rubbish, and I was just kind of like, I couldn't really see a lot of positives about things, and that's why I was like, right, I need to change things up next year because I can't live like this, man. I can't live with just this negativity all the time. And it's like, it was very like, and I felt a lot of my good friends and family because it was just like very, every time they spoke to me, it was just probably something super negative. Going to work, and the slightest thing at work, it was just like, oh, I can't be bothered with this. Now it's very much waking up in the morning and you might feel a bit rubbish, but you're convincing your brain that, your brain's like your biggest weapon, your biggest ally. So it's very much like, I'm going to have a good day today, be positive, go to the gym in the morning, set myself up, I feel good. I've worked all that kind of stress and anger and, the potential badness kind of out of me. Now it's like I'm moving on, I'm going to have a good day today. And I think that's very much like the key to success is just wanting to be positive. It's just like even try to see positives in a negative situation, But like I've said, it all comes in, for me personally, it's more about what everyone else, like, there might be people that wake up in the morning and actually think they're going to have a good day compared to people that think they're going to have a bad day. And we're all in it together. And it's very much, the world can be like so nasty place, mate. You know what I mean? But we're all in it together, so why don't we make it a little bit more happy, if anything,
If there was one bit of advice you'd give to somebody in the same mindset as you, like you were there on this struggling, what's the key thing that you would say to them to take away, just from experience?
To be honest with you, mate, go to the gym. Go to the gym, just figure out whatever your niche is, whatever you enjoy doing, go do that. It completely just diverts away from how you feel. When you're like, when you're just sitting by yourself, that's when stuff creeps in. And that's very much for me, like, especially when I was younger, my way of getting away from things was like go to the gym and kind of work that stress off you. If there's any niche you had, like going out walking, even just enjoying, like, it's a beautiful country, a lot of beautiful views, so just drive somewhere and go walk or whatever, and
do you feel now that you're getting better without kind of, like, with the kind of procrastination and stuff like that, do you feel like you push yourself more? Do you feel like that is the cause of all the fight coming up? Do you feel like you have that fighter mentality now?
It's tough because it's like before I didn't really have that, but now it's like I need to do this or I'm getting my head punched in. You know what I mean? Like I need to get out of my bed, I need to work because I'm going to get my head kicked in if I don't.
And just kind of going back to the fighting a wee bit, touch hairy bits, right? But we all want you to win. We all want you to win. But what do you think? How do you think you would deal with it if you lost?
Well, life doesn't change for me. Life doesn't change. Like life doesn't change for me. I've lost more mental battles than I'll ever lose physical battles. It's a fight. It doesn't define me being a man if I lose a fight with someone. It's an amazing cause. I've raised a lot of money so far, just over I think 1,100 at the minute. Yeah, mate. So it's an amazing cause.
What was your target? £500?
No, it was £1,000.
£1,000.
So it was very much like, because I think my dad asked me about this, and he was like, what happens if you lose? I'm like, well, what does happen if I lose? Like, I come home. Maybe I'm a bit gutted about it, but I wake up in the morning. Yeah. Hopefully that's like the least I have. But I wake up in the morning, it's a new day, right? Cool. Like, life still goes on.
You still feel proud the next day that you've done.
Yeah, my life's not, like, as long as, if I go out and I don't give it 100%, that's when I'll be proper. Like, if I go out and I give 100% and they're just better than me, so be it, I can live with that. But it's having this opportunity, having all these people that I care about and I love fighting in one place and not giving it 100% for them as well as me.
I feel like this has been, obviously we've known each other now, I'd say the last kind of 3-4 years. The topic this all kind of started. Just from, a simple haircut. Scott used to work in Costa Coffee in Silverburn. I used to work in Silverburn in a barber's. We met just over coffee, kind of got talking. It was a meeting of minds. So for us, it's, we talk about
I know, it's just more about how, if you could probably see us when we were there, came into now, you probably laugh about it a wee bit. Because if it did you come in and I'm like, oh mate, I'm having a shit day, I'm having a rubbish day.
Maybe at some point,
Just very much then to now. It's always like trying to see think about who you'll be in like, the future, you know. Because like without this company or anything like that, you know, I'm not trying to get a lawsuit at the end of the day. But it's just a horrible company to work for.
Win, lose or draw, would you do it again?
Probably not. To be honest with you, man, probably not. I'll keep doing the training that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But like, it's the
Like
training. Yeah. Like even like doing like that, I know that amateur about it's like doing the training in town and stuff like that, getting a train in and it's getting home late and stuff like that, and the aches and the pains, I'm like aching and paining in places I've never like an aching pain, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Didn't realise you had a muscle stuff.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh my back, like I swear I've got like a hairline fracture in my knuckle. My knuckle is unbelievably sore, you know, so it's like proper. I keep the training up because I feel physically, I feel good.
What are, obviously I know, but just so everybody can know, what are the styles that you're training, what are the styles that you're enjoying?
So there's a lot of like jiu-jitsu. I think a lot of karate when I was younger, so I like all the stand-up stuff, but the jiu-jitsu and stuff like that is very technical. Like you're going to ground, it's a bit like, I can't really say that the word in today's society, it's a bit, you know, unstraight like some of the stuff you're doing, you know, head and crotch and stuff like that, and but it's like it's effective. I think it's like proper like chest
Did you
battle.
feel uncomfortable at first, like doing all of that? Or did you
Not
feel
really.
like
I just kind of embraced it. I'm like, well, we're all here doing the same thing, so why should I feel uncomfortable when someone else doesn't?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
we're all here for the same goal. You know what I mean? So it's just very much, it's like tough training. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. After the fight, I might go, yeah, I'll do that again. But at this moment in time, it's one and done. I'm retiring. I'm laying the gloves down. I'm laying the gloves down in the octagon at the end, mate, announcing my retirement from the sport, you know.
Right, people, I'm going to love yous and ladies. I'm going to finish Scott's beard and you can see a wee video of it. And I'll be back.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Goodbye.